Okay.
Yeah. So, welcome to another episode of the Angry Turtle Podcast. Today we have a very special guest. We're very excited because we've been wanting him on since the beginning. Basically, the template to this podcast, Mr. Alex Price. Woo! But before we get into it, we have to say we're losing a member. Jorge is moving to Austin, Texas.
Who's Jorge? Sorry. They found me on the streets. I was working today.
Sorry, Brian.
No, Brian. Don Brian. Señor.
Yeah, I picked him up. He was beside a Home Depot.
We saw Home Depot. It's Home Depot, señor.
That is awesome. I guess let's get started here. Yeah. Alex, appreciate you coming on the show.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's good to see all my former students all in one place again.
Yeah.
I was never your student, señor. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. This should work well in Texas for you.
Yeah, he's going for the Texas.
Yeah, where is your gun?
No.
Gun. I have
Pistola.
It's pistola.
Oh,
Yes.
pistola.
It's the cartel. They hold me back.
Fuck, I can't get by it. So, Alex, how did stand up? How did you get into stand up? What triggered you to start, or was there?
I think I always wanted to do comedy. I think growing up, I originally wanted to be on SNL.
Oh, nice.
Probably because of, like Chris Farley and stuff like that, because that's the time period I grew up.
Oh, yeah.
But I was living in a small town up on kind of the Michigan, Indiana, Ohio border. And so access to like sketch comedy was very limited. But stand-up was something I could do. So I had a friend who owned a bar, and he would bring a lot of Bob and Tom comics up randomly. And he knew I liked comedy, so he literally asked me if I ever wanted to like open for them. Oh, nice. And so I did my first show back in like 2012, I think. I opened for a guy named Augie Smith. Who's like a bigger name comic from the Bob and Tom era. And then I think because of that, and like this was like the heyday of Facebook, I've like met other comics on Facebook, and I'd see where they were performing or whatever, and I would just go see if I could do a show over there. And that's where I found like I could, go to Michigan or Ohio or other towns, and because it was so, honestly, if it wasn't for like Facebook, I don't know if I would do stand up, because I don't know. Wow. I don't know how people would have found out about stand up unless you moved to a major market, like back in the 80s and early 90s. You would have to like
Phone book a club or something? Or?
Yeah, but I mean, how would you get a phone book for a different city?
Yeah.
Back then.
No.
How would you know?
I would probably
You would have to get like an agent. So for like being from a small town, I was able to do all that stuff, like go to all these shows from my hometown and not have to leave. Until I was just like, I was tired of driving like an hour and a half every night to do stand up.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Just to get there. So, but like, I felt like that made me, maybe more hungry, I guess, because I always kind of treated it like all the gas money I was using to do like open mics, not even like paid shows at the time. When I started, I was just doing open mics in like cities that were like an hour and a half to 2 hours away. I just kind of treated it like all the gas money I spent as like tuition on what I wanted to do. So, and then I moved to Indy about 6 years ago. So,
you've been there for 6 years. Nice.
Yeah.
What brought you here? Was it just mainly the comedy scene that you liked?
I got in at Morty's, and at the time, Morty's owned two other clubs, one in Dayton and one in Louisville.
Oh, cool.
So I was kind of like, I had gotten into a couple clubs in Michigan, so I felt like I already kind of had that worked out to where if I left, I didn't,
Okay.
I could still go up there when I needed to or whatever. But I hadn't done anything really south. So I just wanted to get into new markets, and I had some family here in Indianapolis, so that kind of made it easier.
That's very good.
My decisions were between Indianapolis and Cleveland. and so I went with Indianapolis.
Ooh.
That's fair. That's fair.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What was like your like comedians that really like opened your mind to it? You're just like, oh yeah, I got to do this.
Stand up.
Yeah.
Dave Attell is definitely. I think I heard the album "Skanks for the Memories" when I was a senior in high school.
That's a good name.
And I think it's one of the greatest stand-up albums of all time.
Wait, didn't you opened for him, right?
I opened for him a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
What, so the first time were you like,
Yeah, 100%.
That's crazy.
That's awesome.
I opened for him for the first time in 2019, and I was just very like weird. I would just stand in the corner and just kind of stare at him.
I love you.
And be like, you're the reason why I do stand up. And he's like, okay, fucking calm down.
Yeah,
That's how I feel like I would be if I ever met Bobby Lee. I feel like I would just fanboy and just be like, dude, I
love you.
just like,
And that's
all right.
they like some people like that, but some people don't. Dave does not like it. So like, he just wants you to treat him like a person.
Yeah.
And that makes sense.
Which is weird because like now he'll bring me out on stage because I'm in Nashville next weekend with him. So like he'll bring me out on stage and we'll like kind of do a bump and mics where we make fun of each other.
Yeah.
And like, so now I have to make fun of my hero, which is like the first time I did it was hard. And he goes, you have to like be mean. And I go,
But
you're you.
exactly.
To be all good and fair, he did ask your mom what her favorite porn category was.
That's true. You were at that show. In Fort Wayne.
So yeah, you got to give him a few shots, but
Yeah.
I think you guys together as a whole show was beautiful, especially there in Fort Wayne. I laughed my ass off, and he obviously is a genius. He just has it with just at the drop of a hat.
Yeah, he's a good dude too. And like he's an awesome guy.
He's quick, and like that's one of the things is like you meet a lot of people and you're like you hear that don't meet your hero shit. Dave Attell is one of the nicest people. Like anytime he comes to a comedy club, he usually brings like a big bag full of candy for all the staff and like
That's awesome.
like he'll like buy pizzas and stuff for the staff and
You fucking paid me to
tips
just to take
very
pictures.
well. Yeah, so like he's an incredibly nice human being.
Oh, yeah, he's
and one of, in my opinion, he's probably the best comic. In my opinion.
Yeah.
Cool.
He's just so
But I mean, there are other comics I like Brian Posehn and Paul F. Tompkins and Kyle Kinane, Matt Bronger. So those are all people I like a lot.
That's great. I saw you were recently with not really recently. I think it was a couple months ago. It was you're featuring or opening for Chrissy D.
Yeah, I opened
I
up
saw that
for Chris Stefano here at the Old National Center.
That was cool.
But
Yeah,
that was
definitely
very
cool.
last minute. I found out Chris texted me and asked me 3 hours before the show because his normal opener missed a flight or something like that.
Oh man.
And I had opened up for Chris a long time ago, and he and I kind of stayed in contact. So
Oh, good.
and I was just going to go to the show anyway and hang out, and then he's like, "Hey, can you open?" So
That's awesome.
Were you nervous at all?
yeah, it's a completely different. Like a theater's a different animal. Like I had heard it was different, and then when I did it, I was like, "Oh, it's like the waves come or the laughs come in waves." Like Wave One Media here in Indianapolis. And so like they take a while to get back to you.
Okay.
So it kind of throws your timing off.
So that's what.
So like that first 5 minutes, and also that first 5 minutes, 200 people had yet to sit down. So like I was almost worried I was bombing a little bit.
So when that was happening, would you have to have your pauses much longer? So wait for the laughs to come
Yeah, I
in?
just had to adjust like how long I waited
It's a science.
because I was stepping on laughs because they were getting there later.
That was not in character, Jorge. That was not. I was.
What happened to your accent?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. What the fuck?
You just Milli Vanilli'd the entire Mexican race.
Yes. Fuck. So, what is your favorite city to perform in? Do you have a favorite region? Or
I love Atlanta.
Ooh.
No, Atlanta's cool.
I also like Denver and Fort Collins, which is like an hour north. That's one of the better clubs I performed at. I love Bloomington here in Indiana.
Yeah, I haven't been.
Comedy
there.
Attic is in my opinion, the best comedy club in the country.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
I've also had good shows in Huntsville. I'll be there next Sunday. And I don't know, man. San Francisco's fun.
I hear a lot of
You're everywhere.
I hear a lot of California spots are pretty good. and
Yeah.
stuff.
I can tell you bad places to perform.
Okay. Yeah.
Lima, Ohio is a shithole.
I used to
Toledo is a shithole.
Two Ohio's. All right.
Dayton also.
Three
love
Ohio's. All right.
Dayton, yeah. I mean, Ohio just... Cincinnati's great. Cleveland's great. Columbus is great. Everywhere else is just a dead mall that needs to be taken behind a woodshed and shot. Yeah.
Hey, that's fair.
Other places I hated performing. I don't know. That's pretty much it.
You a fan
Yeah.
of Crackers?
The Comedy Club?
Yeah.
I don't think they exist anymore. So,
Oh man.
Yeah. Ooh.
do they?
Yeah, I think. Well, they're not obviously doing too great, but they're doing open mics and shows.
Oh well,
but, you know,
whatever.
Yeah.
it's not doing anything too
If you
exciting.
Come check out my 1 minute set.
Yeah, Johnny had a fucking 1 minute set.
fuck.
He said his first joke and then goes, "Fuck, I'm scared." All right, nervous. And then he got his mic cut.
Yeah. So, I guess Lauren, how'd you do it in Can? I'm
Yeah.
trying to switch it up. I want to touch
Oh.
base with you guys real quick, a little bit too.
If you want my honest opinion, I feel like that was a terrible performance. But okay, does everyone every single time you perform always go up to you and they're just like, "Great job," and then internally you're like, "What? That sucked."
Yeah, that's just people trying to be nice and weird.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
So that's what happened.
Yeah, if you just hear good set,
Yeah. On Tuesday, well,
like if I just say, "Hey, good set" to you in passing, I probably either A, didn't watch it, or I'm just trying to be nice.
Yeah.
But if I literally pick apart something and tell you what I like, that usually means it was good and I liked it.
okay. There was one part where I was like, "I've been married for," and I was like, "Actually, I don't even know." And the yeah, one of the comics was like, "That was good. You should keep that in." And I was like, "That wasn't part of my set at all." And
Yeah, but that's how you've always been. You literally, I've watched you do stand up enough to know that you tend to find things in these weird blank spaces. I've watched you do that in class. I watched you do that where you just said it, and then I think that tape you sent me
oh yeah,
felt like it seemed like you had some of that. I feel like you're like things that pop in your head are usually pretty funny. So,
that's cool. Yeah, that's the one.
are you recording your set still?
I didn't record the one on Tuesday, but
Boo.
I know.
At least by audio, record it. That way
Yeah.
you can hear the cadence and everything you're doing.
I ramble a lot, and I still talk through jokes. Well, yeah.
Yeah, but you're like a year in,
Oh,
so.
that's true. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, I feel like Tuesday sucked. But
Looked like you had fun afterwards. It was Cam there.
oh yeah,
You know, he made it live. He made it. He's crazy.
he's the dry humor that I appreciate. Like before we all got on, he was like, I don't remember what he said, but he was like, "This is gonna be so much fun," and that made me laugh so hard. I'm like, I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or if you're being serious, but I love it. He's like, "This is gonna be great."
Was this at Can? Mm-hmm. Okay.
It was like his upstairs show.
He does it, what, once a month? Or,
Yeah, once a month. And then, I mean, my parents showed up, so some of the comics were like, "Do your parents like inappropriate stuff? Can I say penis?" And I was like, "They don't care." I was like, "You can say whatever you want." So that was cool.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
There's 2 people from Cincinnati.
Yeah, Blake Hammond's real good.
Oh, man. He has the joke where is it jailbait if you're my soulmate?
Oh, the emo song. Yeah.
It was hilarious. Yeah, Blake Hammond was hilarious. So it was cool to meet them.
Sweet. Jorge, did you go to Louisville, or is that just a video from?
That was an old video, but I did do the Thursday shows that they have. They had me go down to like 7 minutes,
Woo.
and I recorded my voice, and then when I heard it, I realized I sound like a bitch.
I sound like a bitch.
I do, and I don't like it. It makes me feel weak. Makes me feel smaller than I already am.
Where'd the accent go?
It died.
All right. Have you written that following sentence in like a journal or a manifesto?
No.
Maybe.
Oh no! Don't say
Hell
that.
yeah.
No. They're gonna take a no.
Good job, Dad.
No. It's I've been doing a couple shows here and there. I've been traveling a lot
Yeah,
too.
you've been traveling a lot.
So I did a show in Cincinnati recently at it was an open mic though. It wasn't like a booked show or anything like that. But it was fun. Cincinnati was really cool.
Yeah.
But just with the move, it's kind of been hard to kind of like go back out there as much as I want to.
That's cool.
Well, Austin, Texas
Yeah,
will
you're
treat
going to
you
the
well,
big-
I feel like.
Yeah.
There's a huge comedy scene there. There's a couple clubs, a couple big festivals. You got Moon Tower, you got South by Southwest, Altercation Comedy Festival. So I'll be down there in October.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
And then Helium bought Cap City, and so they're going to open up that soon.
Oh, sick.
Cool.
So
Yeah, you get all
Yeah.
the comedy.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I did shit at the funniest competition.
Yeah,
guys
talk
both
about
did.
that.
Yeah.
Talk about
You
that.
guys
How
both
I-
did.
I thought I was gonna be third. They put me first, and it kind of fucked my mental game up because I know I'm not really good at first. I need to get like people to be a little bit buzzed and glassy eyed for the dark humor.
Classy eye.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not Dustin Burkhead. You know, I'm like, I can't come on him just like live. I don't know. I got into my mind, and then it just felt like Max. What's his last name? Wampler. He brought
Wampler,
like
I think,
5,000 people.
Wampler.
Wampler, okay.
Wampler. He brought a lot of people, so
Yeah.
it's kind of a biased crowd, but I had fun. I learned a lot. I need to
You got your
practice.
recording, right?
I did, but I haven't watched it just because in my head I knew I fumbled my set. There was things I didn't add, things. Yeah, I definitely fumbled it. So I was like, I don't even want to look at it. But I had fun. It's a learning process. It was fun.
Yeah, you had fun.
I cried afterwards. Don't worry. not that much. Just it's singular.
Anybody a crier?
We know Dustin
that?
cried. How'd you do, Dustin? How do you feel like you did?
I felt like I did good. It was pretty easy. I leaned into the awkward and really just living in a pause. Because there was some point where I said a weird joke and I went, oh, and I paused, and for some reason that got a laugh, which I'm down for.
I was just, you walked out and you said, "Anybody a crier?" Is that really what you did? I didn't know if you like snipped it when you posted it or if that was.
Like catch a couple of boo-hoos.
That's a good question for Alex. Do you think each individual comic has a particular spot they should be at per their skill set or per their style? How do you mix that all up? Like, so how do you decide who's going to come up first? Do you have a way?
Oh, like in a lineup?
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely, it's energy related.
Yes, sir. That's kind of how I felt. I didn't feel like I connected.
I've put a couple people as hosts of the Sunday show, and their energy just wasn't good. Mm-hmm. So it kind of threw off the whole show. But then, there's people here in town like Dustin Burkert and Thad and Tenna and Gwen and Tyson. Pretty much all of the people I have Ryan Ross is a good host.
Yeah, Ryan's awesome.
They have good energy to like kick the doors in, which is very important, and to keep the show rolling. So Cam's also a real good host. I host a lot. I feel like there's something special about wanting to, take the bullet, I guess, dive on that grenade.
Yeah, it just seems like people aren't buzzed yet. They're more judgmental at first, and it's really, like you said, you have to have that high impact energy, bubbly spirit, and whatever it may be.
That's like the whole premise. So club work is like one thing it's hard to get, and like I feel like because like the lowest person on the totem pole to a lot of people's eyes is the host, right? Because that's the shortest amount of time.
Oh yeah.
But in my opinion, the host is more important, I guess, or is equally important as the feature. So like the feature's doing 20 minutes, but the host is doing 10. But the host has to get everybody in there to like loosen the fuck up. And start the show off and keep the energy up and get all these announcements right and get all these credits right and
still be funny in between.
and like, a lot of times they can't be as dirty and they can't do crowd work and all this other stuff. So they have to have a very specialized set to go into it, whereas features can kind of do, and then headliners can do whatever they want. So there are some people that, like, when you're trying to get them into a club, it's hard to give them a host spot because they don't have that energy. And so they then have to have a huge chunk of time to get somehow past that and into features. And so that's why I created that show, Rogues Gallery, because it's a showcase. So, like, I'm already hosting, so no one really, or Willie's hosting, so it's one of the two of us. And so it gives these people 10 minutes to where they don't come up cold and they don't, and it's a good way to showcase people who don't necessarily have good host energy, but maybe don't have a feature set length yet. You know what I'm saying? And it gets them club experience and a club show under their belt earlier than they would naturally without a showcase type show. Some scenes have exclusively showcases, like Chicago, the Comedy Store is a showcase for the most part. New York are mostly showcases, like the Comedy Cellar. And Atlanta is mostly showcases. So
wait, I just thought of something. So for the Sunday show, Rogues Gallery too, and when you're booking it, is it kind of strategic of like, okay, this person is going to be this day, so let me try to find the people that will mesh with this person? Or is it like...
Yeah, I kind of work down from headliners on the Sunday show, especially because I don't want people that are like kind of the same.
Oh, yeah. So
I can see that.
Yeah, strategic.
I
never
see
thought
that.
of that.
Yeah, so like it's a big formula thing. Also, I do not want a show that is nothing but straight white dudes.
Yeah.
So,
I can respect that.
But we live in a smaller scene, so
I've been petitioning to get on this show for a while now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get on there. You're gonna let me on. Alex.
It's going to happen.
Yeah,
I will.
eventually.
Eventually, I'll get there. I'll get there, and I will cry.
I feel
on
like I
stage.
don't have host energy, but I
said
feel like
no
I could.
Yeah, I'm fucking here. That's where I met Jake the Snake at.
So like the thing is like not to like be like in a situation where like, but like diverse, like, I mean, let's just be honest, Lauren, you're a black woman. So in a scene, you're probably going to rise up a little bit quicker and get more opportunities, which you can use to your advantage. If this was the 90s,
I would not be.
no.
Middle-aged white male.
Yeah, it'd be, you guys would be,
But that's a beautiful thing. That's
Yeah.
a beautiful thing that.
but I'm also not trying to undercut your
like that.
talent and ability. Cause also in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, I am more quality over diversity. So like, I will always make sure that my show is not 100% straight white dudes, but I will not just put up anybody.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Like you, I have to see you and I have to see you do well.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so,
Yeah, he doesn't even respond to my videos. He's a cocksucker. I mean, no, I love you, Alex. I love you, Alex.
do you know how many people send me videos
Yeah.
or messages from all over the country asking me? So like the thing is like, I have people like locally asking me for things. I have people from all over the country asking me for things. I have people from all over the country asking me things from cities I don't live in. Like, hey, do you know a guy in this city? Because they see that I go around a lot. So like, which I don't have a problem helping people. It's just at a certain point, my life is like, I just don't check my Facebook messages really anymore. And
Fair.
I just have to
I'm
see
pretty
him.
sure
I have to
most
see him
of
every
our-
Sunday, though. I see him every Sunday.
Most of our guests have been like, oh, yeah, you know Alex Price? We know Alex Price, too. I'd say every single one, right?
I'm not gonna lie to you. Every city I go to, like
Yeah.
somebody knows him.
Yeah.
I've asked. Tyson's only. Somebody knew him in Kansas City, the Blue Room. But Alex, you definitely got around and did your thing.
Everyone knows how.
I got a really good question. What's the best? Do you like clubs, bars, or festivals? Or what is your favorite?
Clubs because of the money. Or theaters because of the money. I like money.
Yeah.
I've been doing this 10 years. Like I went through my phase where I was just like, I'm doing open mics and this is fun. And I get to tell jokes and I got that high and I was like, cool, this is great. And then I went into more like doing paid bar shows and I was like, this is fun, this is cool. And then I kind of went like, I want to do comedy festivals so I can get in front of all these people I don't know and I can network. And like, that's the thing about comedy festivals. If you're not a social person, I just don't know if there's value there for you because a lot of comedy festivals do not have industry at them. I go because a lot of times the other people on the festival run shows in their town.
Okay.
So like I can network with them. And like when I go there, like I literally just met Melissa Hahn from Asheville, North Carolina. She runs all the those shows. And I met her at a comedy festival in Atlanta. And then she immediately saw me and gave me a show. So like...
Nice.
So you think it's more valuable to get out of the city and network versus trying
100%.
Okay, so yeah, I was been trying to tell people.
I'm not trying to be like, but like, look how many local shows I do.
Yeah.
I don't even do the Sunday show, but that's mostly because I want to make sure other people get up. I've done that show 3 times in the last 4 years.
That's true.
That's yeah. I see that you're very selective. I figure that's because you're like professional, so you pick and choose the ones you want to do that best reflects you.
I picked the the Limestone one the day after Limestone. All those people come into town or haven't left yet, so I do that one. And then on my bigger shows, like I will host for Kyle Kinane, like if he does my show because he and I are friends. But other than that, I want to give opportunities to my friends.
That's awesome.
And like, I like that feeling. I like giving them like, hey, what are you doing this day? And then they'll be like, oh, I'm free. And be like, hey, you want to host for fucking Brian Posehn or something? And they're just like, I like that feeling. I like, helping people get to where they need to go, especially if I think they are good. I've had a lot of people that I think they're good and they just, they quit comedy and this life isn't for everybody,
I quit every week. No, I don't like bombing, but I'm trying to get used to the feeling of just not connecting with the crowd. It's a weird feeling. I find it to have like really highs and really down lows, I guess. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody, but I get like really...
Oh, this job has the highest of highs and the lowest of lows.
I understand that now, and trying to navigate that in your mind and just let yourself know it's okay, I guess, and continue on it's a mental battle.
Bombing and then having to drive 2 hours home by yourself.
I've done that.
Is
Builds
difficult.
character.
Yeah.
Builds character.
But then also, this is such a crazy, this job doesn't have visible or tangible promotions that normal people would understand. So this job, if at your job, you could tell your husband or you could tell your parents, I got a promotion. If I said to my parents, I got into this club, they'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
My mom asked me point blank, have you ever thought about being on the Tonight Show? Like it was something I forgot to do. So
That's so cute. Oh my gosh.
I was just like, oh God, what have I been doing? I got to go send a chain letter to Jimmy Fallon now.
I do have a question, maybe piggybacking away from comedy, but your football career, then transition to comedy. How did your football...
I only played football until I was a freshman in high school.
Oh, okay.
No,
I thought
No.
No.
No. No, my older brother was really good at football. I played in my freshman year and fucked up my arm. And then the team wouldn't let me play anymore because it cost the school quite a bit of money.
Oh shoot.
Damn.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah.
And I was only 6'2" when I graduated high school. And then the next summer I grew 7 inches.
Anybody
When
want
my
some
coaches
research?
saw me that next year, they were pissed. Because they were just like, you could have blocked 4 people.
Comedy's a weird thing because I feel like, at least for me, it was something I always kind of grew up and saw. So it's I was always thinking about, I was like, oh, this is something interesting. Like George Carlin and as a kid, listening to him as a kid, and then Jim Carrey, I was just taking in all these different things. And it's just like weird how that can like affect your life later. And you're just like, oh, okay, I'm going to do this too.
I mean, comedy was obviously like a deflection from bullying, like trying to make your bullies laugh.
Yeah.
So you didn't get bullied. I mean, that's just a defense mechanism that I relied on and then became really good at. So
I was noticing I'm good at faking emotions, like in conversation, like, oh, yeah, dude, that's super funny. But then it's not. And I was like, cool.
well, you should talk to your therapist.
Holy crap.
Yeah, you fake your emotion. Do you feel emotions ever then?
Well, I have real emotions, like socially.
Just making sure that they're there.
Like socially, if somebody's trying to be funny, I'll probably not the right way, but I'll humor them with a fake
You just
laugh.
go to Google, what is empathy?
Yeah.
What does this feel like?
So here's an off the wall question: who's your favorite wrestler?
Of all time,
All time, one.
Rob Van Dam.
That's okay. I like that.
I like the opposite of me. I like people that are flippy. Like,
Rey Mysterio.
yeah.
I was always into Rhino. I loved Rhino.
Yeah, he's from Detroit.
And I loved the stalking and then just the sparing the hell out of somebody. That was my shit.
Yep.
Or
Yeah.
Bobby Lashley.
I was Ric Flair all the day.
That's the
all day.
oldest lady on a scooter I've ever seen.
Don't-
That was an artifact on 2 wheels.
Oh my God. Okay, I am going to ask. So you love Ghostbusters.
Uh-huh.
And I was going to figure out where that came from and then who your favorite character.
Ghostbusters came out the year I was born.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
It's not why I love it. It's just it came out the year I was born, and we had the tape growing up, and I just loved the movie when I was a child, and so I wore out that tape.
I mean, that's a comedy. So is that...
It's a movie. I
feel like it's a comedy.
I get into weird conversations about this movie because a lot of people are like, it's a comedy, and I want to go, but is it?
I feel like it is.
What
It's
would
kind
be?
of
What would be?
it has a thriller
alternative?
sense to it because
It's just a really good goddamn movie.
Yeah.
Like,
Like they didn't try to make it a comedy.
Yeah.
I think, but like, if you look at the history of that movie, Dan Aykroyd wrote like like that movie could have been 5 hours long. They had to cut so much out of it because Dan Aykroyd just went nuts. Because he's like a literal like big into the paranormal, and so like he had this whole but I love that movie because I don't know. It's just good. Like it's just a good movie. It takes you out of everything. It makes these things seem tangible and believable. They're just funny and sarcastic, and like everything Bill Murray says is great.
Yeah,
Rick Moranis is really good in it. Annie Potts just being dry as hell is so funny. Harold Ramis being dry is really funny. I don't know. I just love that movie.
How do you feel about
And
the
then I
villains?
love the cartoon. So the cartoon was going on
Yeah.
the same time when I started watching it. So like I could watch the movie, then watch the cartoon when I got home. And then Ghostbusters 2 came out in 89. And then, I had all the toys, and that is a huge dog.
That is a big dog.
Wow.
And I have a very large collection of Ghostbuster stuff at my house.
I did see that during
And
the
it's
festival.
only gotten bigger over the last
I'm not
month and a
smiling.
half.
I'm not laughing.
What do you think about the new ones that came out?
I never saw the girl one.
Yeah.
I was going to, and then everyone said that it doesn't even acknowledge the movie, the first movie.
Oh.
So like, I don't give a shit about whether or not like it's women. Like I was
Yeah.
interested in seeing it, and then I found out it does not even acknowledge the first two movies, and I go, then why is it called this? Like it could be a different movie, to be honest. Like
Yeah.
if you're not going to live in the same world, then
There's no point.
what's the point?
Yeah.
But Afterlife is so good. Like Afterlife is really good.
That's with
I
Paul Rudd,
cried
isn't it?
when I saw it.
That's with Paul
So-
Rudd, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that one looked pretty good.
I can't speak highly enough about it. A lot of people were like, it's too much nostalgia, and I go, yeah, because you're getting newer fans, and then also appeasing the older fans,
Yeah.
and like you're pushing the story forward, and it's been almost 40 years. So-
I like it when shows and movies do stuff like that, where like they had a really popular thing, say in like the beginning of the season, or like a really good first movie, and that those like they bring those back up in like a later season or like in a later movie, and bring shit that happened in those back up. I always dug that stuff a lot.
Right.
Fuck is shaking so much.
I'm actually not
Yeah, okay,
bouncing
I'm
my
over
foot
here
this
like-
time. I'm actually not bouncing my foot.
Oh, it's you? Okay, I'm over here fucking vibrating. I'm about to, changing frequencies over.
Oh my God! Look at that father and son duo on that scooter. Heartbroken.
Yeah.
This is good podcast content.
Yeah. Okay.
Must be nice to have a dad.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Quentin tells me that every Father's Day. He's like, "Must be nice to celebrate your father." I'm like, "You got here somehow. It just wasn't in your."
Well, technically, I still have my daddy just on my shelf.
Oh shit!
This is going great.
Yeah.
Are you?
When there's something strange in the neighborhood.
Who are you gonna call? Not me.
Ghostbusters.
But yeah, I recommend that movie.
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters Afterlife. If
I'll have to
you've
check
never
that
seen
out.
it.
I saw the previews, but I haven't like gotten into it. Like, just taking the time to watch it. But I definitely should.
All right.
Okay, well, wait. Can I ask?
Ladies first.
Oh, nice. I was gonna ask the teaching at Helium.
Mm-hmm.
So, did you get asked to do that, or did you want to teach? Like, do you like?
So when they were building Helium, the owner of the club, Mark Grossman, contacted me. Or I found out he was asking questions to people in comedy about me, which I thought was, weird because, Morty's at that point had closed. Crackers was still open, but I was banned from there, and that's a whole nother story.
Wait up. Yeah, wait the fuck up.
Did you say the F word too much?
too much?
I don't want to talk about it on air.
Yeah, no drama. No
okay.
drama.
That's a different time.
There's a lot of people that are banned there.
No, I just can't ever get over 1 minute.
But yeah, so
It's like David told us he was banned.
when they came, same reason. So when Helium came in, I was very excited because, I was excited and apprehensive because I also run a lot of comedy shows in town. Mm-hmm. And I looked at Helium's kind of like lineup of who they had in their other cities, and it was a lot of the same people I brought here. Because before that, Morty's wasn't really bringing those kind of people in. So I was kind of worried that there'd be some overlap and, they'd get mad at me for doing that and I'd have to deal with that. Because I've had to deal with that in like Fort Wayne and stuff.
Wow.
With like clubs being mad that I was bringing in people that they wouldn't even bring in, to be honest. They were just very territorial and shitty. So, and then I sent Mark Grossman a friend request blindly because I was just like, well, if he wants to know about me, I'll make it easier for him. And he didn't say anything to me. And then he posted that he was looking for a club manager for Indianapolis. And I messaged him and I recommended Avery Dellinger for the job because he was like the Morty's guy. And so I don't think I helped him get a job, but I definitely, because he was like, yeah, Avery is, but I put in a very good word for Avery. And then as they were building the club, Mark Grossman called me and said, you should come look at it. And so he showed me everything like before. I mean, drywall wasn't even up. Wow. So like we had like walked upstairs and the stage wasn't even constructed yet. And he was telling me that they were going to have classes and asked me if I was interested in teaching. And I come from a family of educators. Like I was kind of supposed to be a teacher. And I decided I didn't want to. Not that I just decided.
Interesting.
I had heard how kind of horrible it was to be a teacher nowadays. So
Yeah.
I did other things. Because my dad's a teacher, my uncle was a teacher, my grandma was a teacher. So
Yeah, teaching's in my family too.
Yeah,
I feel like comedy is, or like stand up in a way is kind of like, in a weird way, like teaching.
it's lecturing for sure.
Yeah.
I had fun in the class. With you guys.
I loved the class.
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't like Alex, but
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys were awesome.
I feel like it was like a form of not hazing, but like when you embarrass yourself for the first time on stage, it's like I'll never forget you guys.
I mean, it's
I was coming out of a dark spot in my life, so I definitely, and it was nerve wracking. Like it's like skydiving, getting shot at, all like it's got all that like Yeah,
Or-
just the
yeah.
high impact adrenaline, I guess, or the emotions that you have to deal with.
Or it's like not talking for 2 minutes. That's kind of cool too.
Yeah, I've never seen anybody freeze up still. I've been doing it 7 months, and
Yeah.
you froze up for the longest.
That was fun. It was yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I will never forget.
Everyone's just like,
Yeah, we'll just be like, everybody pretend we're Jorge.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had probably 5 or 6 classes now. Your class is really good. I've only had one student that I was just so frustrated with that.
Was that the
Don't you call his name out.
No,
'cause
no,
he's
I'm not
sensitive.
going to.
No, but it was the rapey guy, right? The one that wanted like to.
No, I wasn't frustrated. I just knew that guy wasn't going to go anywhere. He also tried to take the class again, and he went for like 2 days and then just disappeared.
Damn.
There was one student who I made cry. So
Wait, you're the nice one. Wait. What'd you? What?
I just told him point blank to. He was not. I was giving him in like. Not direction, but I was giving him advice on what he was doing, I thought wrong. Mm-hmm. And he just wasn't following any of my advice. And so he just kept doubling down on it. And so I literally just kind of stopped him and I said, hey, you're wasting everyone's time.
It gets to a point where when
And I said, you have no punchlines. None. You're just up there talking. And you're like, and so he's a nice enough guy, but I don't know what else I could have done. And it was frustrating because I was like, I'm giving you advice on how to not be, I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah.
Bad, but also like disturbing in a way.
Oh, like, yeah.
You got cut in half.
Where like you felt like he's like about to like shoot everybody in the room.
Oh, yeah. You
yeah,
don't
that's
pay
not
to
a-
watch that.
Let's go have it.
Because he had this thing where like he nervously laughed after everything, but it was just eerie. And I'm just like, this isn't helping you become more likable.
Yeah, I remember you gave me a certain advice, and like I sat down, I thought about it. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't do this. This is probably a bad idea. Because like during the class, I honestly felt like I was just talking, and I would just talk. I had no punchlines, so nothing. And after the class, I didn't do any stand up because I'm like, I don't think I can do this. Then I started doing the mics, and I started seeing how everyone else did it, and I started seeing how everyone was putting punches and how you just don't talk and say random things. And then that's when I was like, okay, I think I can figure this out. And
I feel like the class is different for other people. Like some people don't need a class, obviously. I feel like you can go and just learn, go to open mic, see how it's done, and learn that way. Other people like classes because they like the structure. And they, it'll help you kind of get over that initial, like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
yeah.
So that when you start doing actual open mics, you don't look like a complete weirdo.
Well, yeah, because you
But
do
then-
a lot of the Helium Wednesday mics too, right?
Yeah.
Do you do all of them?
If I'm around.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I don't want people to sound like me. Like that's, when I'm teaching, I definitely don't want people to like be carbon copies of me. I want to find out what everyone is good at and kind of help them accentuate off that.
Yeah,
Like a teacher.
That was my next question was like, when you get a class and you start seeing people, how do you approach everyone specifically?
I try to write down that first 2 weeks that's why seeing who they like as comics helps me kind of figure out, because sadly, all of you are just, when you learn comedy, you learn off other people. So you're just watching who you think is good tells me exactly what you want to do.
Right.
Because we're all just carbon copies of somebody else.
That's true.
We're just using different styles and putting our own spins on, different people's stuff. So,
Yeah, that's very true.
That's true.
but then I also like to hear like what your job is like, what your life is like, all that kind of other stuff. So I can help you figure out what you want to do a little bit quicker. I don't want people to be like, I want you to be exactly like me.
Right.
Because that's not going to work for any of you.
Yeah.
Wait, so those
I want to
prompts-
help you find you.
Those prompts were strategic too? Like
What?
how the first week we had to write about, I don't know, like it was dogs. Or,
Well, I mean, all of those things are just relatable topics. Writing about relatable material will help you get on stage a lot quicker.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. I kind of developed my own syllabus on that. So I've given it to a lot of other teachers because I get pretty high reviews from everybody. So
How long did it take you to develop your? Yeah, thank you. I thought I was gonna die. Your stage character. Do you have a stage like
character? No, it's just me yelling.
like? So when you first started, it's the same persona. You didn't like develop more into like the yelling, or did you? Was you always?
I mean, I've been doing it 10 years, so it's definitely all changed. I don't think I've changed too much in the last 3 years. Things I started focusing on later on was facial expressions and body language, because I feel like that helps sell jokes even harder.
Yeah.
And just, working through things. I haven't recorded an album yet because I'm got my own hang-ups about that. So
What's going on with that?
I do a lot of jokes about my size, and a lot of it is visual stuff. So I don't know how well that'll translate to an album. And so that's basically it.
That's fair.
You got to try it, Alex.
Yeah.
You got to try it.
I know that, but I watched a friend of mine who is a short blonde woman record her special, and she just did a bunch of jokes about her size, and I just immediately thought, who listening to this is going to understand?
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, you don't think about that.
Unless you're like really singing it. That class though, that class definitely helped me a lot. I mean, I'd done it only maybe a handful of times before COVID.
Did somebody die in our class?
I don't know.
He was, I don't know.
Pretty close.
Somebody died, I think. He came in and got COVID, came back. He looked like he was just beat to hell. And
Yeah.
then he disappeared again.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
No, I always think about the guy who had the big book.
Officer
and-
Leahy?
Yes. And then he
Liquor sickle?
He didn't come to the final show, though.
He said he had an earache or something.
I think about him way more.
And I've
than
never seen him since.
Yeah, I think
No.
about him more than I probably should. I'm like, where's that guy?
The other guy that was in the class is, no, I can't say that. You did smell a little bit.
Dude, and he would sit, man. No.
We have talked about this guy.
Yeah, he
before.
hits me up
You
all the
need to
time.
leave it alone.
He randomly sent me a message.
Mom.
He hit me up, said,
His mom
Yesterday,
picks
he
out
sent me
his
a
clothes.
message.
he sent me a message the other day. He was like, "You say my comedy's uncomfortable." I was like, "Well, mine actually kind of works."
Yeah, I wish he would have paid attention to, you use the autism to his favor. I really wish I don't think he took the advice that well either. Really think he has a lot of material to work with if he would have just paid attention. But he's fucking a character, though. I know that.
Yeah.
I can't have him waffing anything around me, though.
No, man. And he's still underneath the fan in the room, and it's a small room.
Fucking-
And it's like, damn, bro, fucking Febreze.
Doing it. I'm not doing
Yes,
it.
yes. Wait, hey, we're gonna hit Lauren with the weather real quick.
This one's easy. I came in knowing this one. Okay, ready?
Oh fuck.
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters. It's overcast and it looks like it's gonna rain. Who are we gonna call?
The weatherman.
Okay.
So what are these other questions you have for me, Lauren?
Okay, so I was gonna ask about Illuminati. Your Instagram name is
Illuminati _HR_rep.
What's the meaning behind that?
So when I started Instagram, I was very into how funny I thought. There's all these rumors online about a lot of people in the rap community
Oh yeah.
being in the Illuminati. This, like Jay-Z and Chris Brown being a sex slave and all this. Like, you can go down a rabbit hole. And so I just thought it would be funny if there's a lot of weird stuff.
All right.
I just thought it would be funny if there was someone in HR for the Illuminati. And so I just thought that was funny. Yeah.
That's really funny.
And I've got a lot of people that are like, why don't you change that? And I go, it's funny to me. I don't know. I might change it because it does make it harder for people to find me on Instagram. But I mean, my Twitter handle used to be Chronic Fat Kid, but now it's just Alex Price Indeed. So
Okay, and I was gonna ask about your hair because in the class, I don't think you ever wore it down. And then one day, I saw you with your hair down, and I was like, "What? I didn't know your hair was out."
Oh yeah, my hair's like very long.
So when did you start growing it out?
I got my last haircut March of 2019.
Wow.
A lot of it has to do with a couple of things. Number one, my sister used to cut my hair, and she lives all the way in my hometown. And number two, COVID happened.
Oh yeah.
And so getting haircuts was illegal for a long time. But yeah, my hair is kind of like down to here.
Oh man. Wow. So are you in competition? What is this? He's the wizard. We call him the wizard.
Oh, Pat?
Yeah. Are you guys trying to? Are you trying to?
No, Pat's always had long hair.
Are you trying to get it as long as him?
No. I'm going to cut it eventually.
Oh man.
Is Pat going to go to? Is he going to California, or is that just something?
I don't know what Pat's doing anymore.
Yeah, Pat.
He's gonna go do comedy in California.
Yeah.
Pat's going to be here for a while. I think he might try to go to Europe, he said.
Oh, cool. That's
Yeah,
really
that's
cool.
dope.
But yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I liked his merch. He had an NFT.
Yeah.
I thought that was a kind of a cool idea for merch.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's widespread already, but it was interesting.
He gave me Google eyes. It was weird.
I understand the
Quinn
feeling.
loves Pat.
Jorge, I understand the feeling.
Yeah. Quinn loves Pat,
Don't.
and then he loves. Is it Mitchell? He has a
Mitchell Potts.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, Quinn loves both of them. Yes, I think he has a joke about
The three of us
Kanye.
did a podcast together.
Oh, yeah,
Was it-
let's
you
talk
used to
about
do it on
the
Sunday?
podcast too.
On a Sunday,
Yeah.
right? See, I didn't know. I thought I remembered that, and then I talked to you, and you said it wasn't your thing. So I was like, "What?" I thought he did a podcast.
Nah, Mitchell moved to Chicago. So, and Pat moved to a different house. So it just makes it hard.
Yeah.
So we did have a podcast where we got fucked up and rated and reviewed frozen food during the pandemic because it was the most groceries I'd ever had in my house at one point in time in my entire life. So we were like, well, what can we do? And we did that. So,
That's awesome.
yeah. It was called Cook on High for 30 Minutes. We have a lot of great guests. So if you want to check out the back history of that, go ahead.
So do you? You've been doing it 10 years, you said. Mm-hmm. Do you sometimes go through lows too? Do you doubt yourself still at this point, or do you?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so
It's called depression.
yeah.
All of a sudden,
Yeah, it's a battle. I think the love for comedy overweighs that though. Like, I think when I have the downs, it just takes a few days, and then I'm like, no, I actually love this shit. You know, like let's figure out what we did wrong and continue on. And
The bombs haven't really bothered me too much because I bomb on a day-to-day basis just talking to people, but also I haven't had like that kind of big, huge crowd to really bomb. It's either been at an open mic or like kind of like,
Right.
you know, I haven't had like bomb.
I mean, the thing to remember is, you know, comedy is great because it'll bring new people into your life. Like, obviously, you guys all met each other, and that's a good friend base for you. But I still think you need to have friends outside of comedy because comedy is a world full of mentally ill people
hey,
who are self-destructive and
Self-absorbed.
a lot of times they're bitches. So.
I'm not gonna hate it.
So, you know, some advice for you guys is never look at somebody else and go, well, I deserve what they get. Like, you don't. You got to carve out your own path. There is no one set way to do this job. You can do it so many different ways, and just don't be a dick and be nice to people. And just work hard.
good
If somebody else that you know gets something ahead of you, don't be like, why? Be like, awesome, good for you.
Yeah.
Because you never know when that person might pop off and want to take you out on the road or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So support your friends. Support your friends' wins. Don't look at them and go, why is this not me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the saying? Don't step on the hand today that's connected to the ass you might have to kiss tomorrow.
Exactly.
Yeah. No.
But Johnny and I have always had, you know, obviously when a lot of us are out at mics together, but Johnny and I go to mics a lot together, and
Yeah, at first
We're
I tried
always-
to individualize. I didn't want us to get
Yeah.
like every time you seen us, you know, it was like a package deal. But now
Yeah.
it kind of seems like it's a
Yeah, I mean, it's like own it and might as well. I mean, and we also got friends outside of this too. So it's like him and I aren't always like,
No, I don't ever hang out with you.
yeah, we don't like.
I did go get tacos last
Yeah,
night with you
that
in
was
the
fun.
middle of the hood. That
nice.
was awesome.
Interesting.
Nice.
But yeah, that's cool. Good tacos.
Taco shells were
Okay, I
weird.
do want to ask. So, I mean, you do a crap ton of comedy all the time, but like, what are your goals for the rest of the year?
That's a good one. Just the year, you said?
I mean, yeah, you could do like.
I want to get my new podcast off the ground. That's
Ooh.
basically
Fuck yeah.
Woo.
that's it.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Do you have a title for the podcast? Or you
Yeah, it's called The Shift.
The
shift.
I like that.
Nice.
Nice.
That's a nice name.
It's going to be an interview podcast where I interview people about their old jobs because I feel like old job stories are very relatable.
Oh, they are.
And then it's going to be people who are now doing what they like. So it's going to be about their old jobs, and then so that's where you get the word shift. But then them also shifting into what they are doing now.
Yeah.
What it's like to make the jump to following your dream.
That is
Because
so
a lot of us will say things like, I just, you know, because if you wait around for the right time to do something, you're never going to do it. You just need to make that blind leap. And so it's going to be about what that was like for that individual, what they had to go through, what it felt like. That way it's more inspirational to other people who are trying to do that kind of stuff, whether it be music or comedy or pro wrestling or in business. I've got a guy who owns a restaurant that I'm going to interview that was working for somebody else and then stopped what he was doing and started his own restaurant that has been very successful. So
That's my goal right
Yeah,
there.
I'm subscribed
Yeah.
already. That's
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a great
So
idea.
We will destroy you.
We appreciate you taking the time and coming out, dude. Like it was,
no problem.
it's a really good time. We wanted you. We talk about you almost every fucking podcast. We at least
100%.
mention something.
Well, I like you guys all a lot, and I will always be here to help, even if you're in Austin, Texas,
Yeah.
What a
wearing that offensive hat,
Is it offensive?
looking like the
I mean, like,
is it offensive? I don't know. You're Puerto Rican.
Yeah, the Tapatio guy's gonna fucking kill you.
I know you plug some of your stuff, but do you have like anything you wanna plug again?
I mean, you can follow me on Instagram at Illuminati_HR_rep. That's got a lot of my dates on it. When does this come out?
next Saturday.
Next Saturday. I will be in. On Sunday, I will be in Huntsville, Alabama with Dave Attell. Woo! And Louis Katz. And then I think the following weekend, I will be in Louisville, Kentucky with Kyle Kinane. Let me read off some more dates here.
See, he's everywhere.
August 5th and 6th, I'll be at the Comedy Attic in Bloomington with Matt Bronger.
Oh, nice.
And then August 12th and 13th, I will be headlining the Ann Arbor Comedy Showcase in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Oh yeah,
But other than that, man, just be nice to each other.
that's true.
Everything sucks right now, so
Doesn't it?
be cool and give it up for Wave 1 for
Yeah.
having us out.
We appreciate you guys watching and supporting all of our content. It's been super awesome. Johnny and I are just kind of like, what the hell's going on?
And Jorge and Lauren.
Yeah, and it's like we're all just like, what the hell? is
Don't forget
happening?
them. Don't you
Yeah. Well, we got to. He's a Puerto Rican dressed as a Mexican.
Awesome.
I will say, guys, it has been fun.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate
Yeah.
meeting
As
We
everyone.
go.
Yeah.
And
I'll find you.
We remix.
I want you to come find me.
I will find
Yeah,
you.
we'll find
Anyways,
All the
thanks,
Thank you. We
guys.
love you guys. Thank you.
Bye, Jorge.
Share
Bye.
TikTok.